Hello, everyone. My name is Swapna Bapat. I'm the VP of Product Management for the Network Security Solutions based out of Bangalore in India. Today, we're in the Women's History Month. And on this occasion, we would like to invite SVP and GM Anand Oswal, Network Security Solutions at Palo Alto Networks, to share his thoughts with us. He's one of the strongest allies of the Women in Tech cause, and I'm fortunate enough to be part of his team. Thanks, Anand, for being part of this conversation
Thank you
and
for
sharing
having
your
me.
thoughts. I have a couple of questions for you.
Sure.
So, while a lot of leaders aim to have diverse teams, you're a role model with higher than 40% diversity with a very successful team. Did you set this as a goal? Any tips on how other leaders can learn from you?
Yeah. Thank you for having me, Swapna. I think a lot of things that we do needs to be intentional. It needs to have some sort of purpose that you want to do it, right? And it takes effort and time to get it done. So I think in terms of building diverse teams, if you think about diversity is many things, of course. There's of course gender diversity, but it's about backgrounds and experiences and where you worked, etc. So all of them come together in terms of people coming into a room with different ideas, different thought processes. And usually I find that when people come in from diverse backgrounds with different ideas, the end solution or the end idea that you will implement for a given problem you have is always going to be better than each individual idea or each individual thought process that somebody brought into the table. So I think it's very important. To your second point on how do you go about building it, I think it's more around how do you aspire to have diverse teams. How do you ensure that you want to make that it's intentional? Because the most important thing is that you got to put extra effort to ensure it happens. It's very easy for anybody, any manager, to always hire people. I tell people that referrals are great, but usually referrals that you get from people in your organization are people like-minded, like the person who's referring them, and not always, but a good number of times. And that's not wrong. It's not bad. You want good, smart people recommending the best that they know, but you also want to make sure that you are giving in the opportunity to interview and hire a diverse talent. So the end outcome will be that you will basically have a much better team and a much better business outcome for what you're trying to drive.
I want to double click on the last point you made about being intentional. My personal experience, as well as a lot of other colleagues of mine, we have seen that you have even mentored some of us over the number of years, kind of coaching us towards a certain career goal or a certain aim, education wise, career wise. Is that something that you do by nature, or is it again something intentional towards this cause?
I think it's both, right? I would say you want to give back and you want to ensure that you're helping anybody that needs help, right? And but it's not just what you're helping them. I always believe that when I'm mentoring people, I'm getting as much from that as I hope they're getting from me, because they come in with unique perspectives. They come in from different backgrounds. They have different questions depending on how much experience they have or not, and you end up learning or picking up things that make you a better leader as well, right? So I think it's both. It's about helping them uh, navigate what they want, but also it helps me in many ways to understand the diverse perspectives of diverse people that I mentor, and hopefully makes me then a better leader, right? So I think it's a combination of both. Now, to your first part around, yes, you have to make sure that you're spending effort and time to do it because it should be important to you. At the end of the day, you want to do things that you enjoy, that you do. And one of the things I really enjoy is that I enjoy building new sets of leaders, right? To me, that is the greatest joy I get as being a manager, right? When you see people who worked for you being super successful in your organization or even somewhere else, that is the ultimate reward you can get from leaders. So I think you want to make sure that you leave the people that you mentor better than what they are when you started with them, and hopefully they left you as well better than what you started yourself.
Wonderful, Anand. I think there are a lot of takeaways for leaders from this conversation, especially ensuring that through the journey, you have a very strong mentor. You have a mentor who really wants you to succeed and having that as one of the goals as a leader enables you to build extremely strong, diverse teams. That takes me perfectly to my next question. What does it mean to be an ally? And this is something that I think leaders also need to understand. Is it mentoring? Is it coaching? What does it mean to be an ally for women in tech?
I think to me it comes down to being there, right? Being there, listening, supporting, helping in any form or fashion, right? That is required in for a given situation. But it really comes down to being there, like the support that you can provide to anyone who you think is in a situation that needs that. Then you are being an ally to that person.
Wonderful. So continuous guidance, support is what really Anand mentioned. Big takeaway from that. And my last question, Anand. The story that you have shared with all of us about your mother and what you've seen her go through has been an inspiration, not only for us who know you personally, but a lot on social media that we read. So women, and you've seen this, women go through various stages of their life and have to manage and negotiate with their career. And often society sees us as the primary caregiver. Any advice or any story that you can share on this?
Look, I think what I learned from my mother is grit and determination, right? There's nothing that I can do that I believe that my mom or my sister or somebody I know cannot do better than me. So I absolutely believe that look, women by nature are multitaskers. I look at my home, my wife, or even my daughter now who's in college. They're able to juggle through multiple things in parallel. Like I can't do those sometimes, right? I try, but it's hard. I think by nature of what you talked about, like primarily taking care of sometimes the home. It's of course can vary by different circumstances, but you're able to manage these complex situations and make it look easy. And I know it's not easy, right? I think so. To your part about the earlier question on being an ally, really understanding, really supporting, right? We have women in our organization who basically have young children, and how do you ensure that you provide them the flexibility, the support, and as well as the challenges that they need to make it done. So it comes down to really how do I say, supporting. Like in many ways, it's about doing things that you would want someone to do to you, right? In any ways, right? So just being that. But I think just making sure that you are able to understand that, lead with empathy, and appreciate that the things that they do sometimes are not easy, or they have to work harder sometimes to get it done.
Wonderful. So I think empathy, being there, understanding their situation as an ally are the most important takeaways for me.
Absolutely.
What is your advice for women going through that? Are there certain things that they should do? Probably sometimes they have to take a break or slow things down a bit. Can they do something to keep up with the pace?
Yeah, I think, look, we have a lot of situations where we have instituted programs even at Palo Alto Networks around what we call Women Back to Work.
Wonderful.
We've had many women who have taken a break in their career for a variety of different reasons, and it's a personal choice that they've made. And we run this program in partnership with Women Back to Work, where we've helped them come back into the workforce, or I would say ease them back into the workforce, because they've taken a break for some time. There's a little bit of fear when they come back into the workforce. They need to reskill in some sense. And how do you ensure that you make that as easy and smooth as possible, so that they are back to what they were confident and able to run at full gear? So that's the program that we've run.
Wonderful. And I know you're a big supporter and proponent of that. Thank you so much, Anand. I think this conversation was very insightful. A lot of takeaways for leaders today, and our opportunity to build more allies out there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.